This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in MetaQuest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The MetaQuest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and more, including my two personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code RuffTalkVR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered. Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Another week with plenty to talk about. Last week we had the UploadVR Gaming Showcase, their summer showcase.
Yes.
With over 60 games. The showcase went an hour and 40 minutes. I never thought I would ever hear somebody say that too many VR trailers, but, you know, it was so long, so much shown that I even saw that in the comments. People were like, whoa, an hour 40, that's a good showcase length.
Oh, it also goes to show how much is out there that can be shown or talked about. No, it was a good showcase.
Yeah, they've been doing theirs for 3 years. Sometimes they do, you know, up to 2 showcases a year. So they've got some good rhythm with it. And clearly that showed with over 60 games shown.
They had some fat giveaways.
Yeah, some fat giveaways. So obviously with 60 trailers shown, I don't think that we have the time to talk about every single one shown, but we'll talk about some of the things that
some of the highlights.
Shown. Yes, as well as some other news from this past week. But man, I love those gaming showcases, whether it's Meta, whether it's Upload. I love all those.
Anything that gives you a sneak peek on something that's being updated that you might love, or something you were hoping to hear about but wasn't mentioned, you know, earlier in the year. So no, they have their place.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we get into some of the highlights of that, you know, an interesting piece of news that came out late last week was Meta. They lowered the age requirement of the Quest and the Quest 2 and the Quest 3.
Did you say good news?
And yeah, I don't know if
I'm just curious. I'll have to listen to that again.
I don't know if I said good news, but it's news.
It's news.
You know, the age requirement of the headset lowered from 13 to 10 years old, which we got to be real. Kids under 13 were already using the headset. We played Pop 1.
Yeah. No,
you know,
Pop 1, Among Us, Gorilla Tag.
I work at a martial arts gym. I'd hear 8-year-olds come into class talking about Gorilla Tag. It's like these kids were already using the headset. But, you know.
Yeah, they're not watching Dad.
It was interesting, though, when they put out the announcement of it, you know, hey, we're lowering the age requirement. They also put a bunch of research attached to it of why this is safe for kids at that age. Like, hey, it's not just something that we're doing loosely. There's some research to justify that this decision's kosher.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure arguments could be made, like, should kids be staring at a screen? You know, I grew up my whole life, and if you sat too close to the TV, parents would always say, don't sit so close to the TV, you'll go blind. You know, but that's a pretty
controversial statement.
I think it's a very steep repercussion for being too close to it. You know, but I do know they make special glasses if you're going to be in front of computer screens all day to cut out certain...
Yeah, the blue light blocking features and stuff like that.
Who really knows? But I do agree that it's cool that they did back it up with, you know, we are lowering it, but it's not just
a blind decision, you know?
No pun intended.
Yeah. And, you know, they basically said that, hey, if your kid's IPD is too small to fit into the smallest setting, you know, they probably shouldn't use it because it's not being able to be used comfortably. But
here's a 5% coupon off for the Quest 3 that'll have the pancake lenses, and it shouldn't be such an issue for your child. Yes,
and a dial as well. That's going to be much easier to find appropriate IPDs than just the three settings.
Yeah.
So
no, it's an, you know, hey.
I don't think they're going to come and flood Ghost of Tabor. I think they'll stick to the games that are already.
You say that. You say this.
Hey,
but
bring it. I need some kills.
You know, my attitude with, like, okay, what happens if squeakers come and start jumping into Ghost of Tabor by the bucket load?
We get a bunch of kills.
Well, if the problem with the squeaker in games is that they don't shut up,
that's awesome for ghosts.
It works Exactly. So I just see them as like achievement pawns.
No, I think that the apps they'll populate is the apps already populated by kids. You know, definitely.
Rec Room.
Yes.
Definitely
Gorilla
Rec
Tag,
Room, Gorilla Tag.
Gym Class VR.
Yeah.
You know, probably anything free to play. So Gods of Gravity will get a boost. Quantara, which is a game that we're reviewing later this week. That's free to play.
I would think Walkabout as well.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, it's probably already on the headset that the parents own.
I was going to say, anytime I see parents posting on Reddit or Facebook groups saying, hey, what's a good game for me to get for my kid? I usually see some Walkabout Mini Golf suggestions thrown in there. So I could totally see that too.
Pop one.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. That goes back to the free-to-play ones.
It's a free-to-play.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they're just been taken, because I follow a couple of their groups on Facebook, and they're usually like so just jacked up with fun and excitement and
positivity.
It's been brutal for the past couple of weeks.
Well,
brutal.
I don't have anything negative to say about Pop One. I always still have a good time with it, but admittingly, you know, we've been playing a lot more Ghost of Tabor than Pop One. You know, I can't lie.
Something happened probably like 4 months ago, where just the vibe of the game, and it's weird because we'd still go in and we'd actually win.
That's what I'm saying.
But something about the free to play. I mean, it's almost like, you know, people didn't like the price of it anyways, but then they give it away, and now that's a bigger problem.
I don't know if my issue with it is that it's free to play. I don't know.
No,
something about
just
it.
Something changed when it went free to play, I think.
Well, I also think Pop One was so freaking great when the library was small. But like now there's just so many good games, and Ghost of Tabor is a little bit more up my alley. I think that's what it is. There's just better selection as well.
Well, for games that I'd prefer to play, if Ghost was out the same day that Pop One was out, I might not have played Pop One.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think part of it's that, you know, when Pop One was at its peak, the library was not as big as it is now. You know, 2023 has been intense for store releases. Like, we've gotten so many good games this last year.
Yeah, it's not stopping.
No,
it's not like it's all going on vacation.
As we saw with the MetaQuest gaming showcase, you know, so many of those games are coming in winter of 2023. So like Asgard's Wrath, you know, oof. And then another one that was teased a little bit at the MetaQuest showcase, and then we got more info about this past week at Ubisoft's gaming conference. Assassin's Creed Nexus, their VR game.
With some tight Unity graphics being flexed.
Well, they used a CGI trailer, unfortunately shown to everybody, but then on their website, you know, they posted a bunch of actual in-game screenshots that looked really tight. You know, we got some more info about it, that you're going to follow 3 different characters' adventures. So I'm excited. It sounds like I'll be able to use my boy Ezio. You know, the length of the game, I would have fear that, you know,
be a little short.
Well, like 1 hour each or something like that. That's nothing that they said, but sometimes for these big IPs coming over to VR the first time, it's not always the longest length stories.
No, and
I'm just kind of trying to set my expectation going into it.
I don't know what my expectation is. I'm excited because we saw more in the past 30 days of the confirmation of it, and actual footage of it, and even the computer rendering, which was still freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Because it definitely told me you're going to be able to jump off of shit.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be, I don't want to use the word open world environment because I don't know if it's going to be that extent, but open environments. It doesn't sound like it's going to be linear, like walk here and then walk there. Kind of sounded a little Star Wars.
I hope not. No, I just don't know how open world it's going to be. And
my brain, you know, it went to.
If I saw how big the game was forecasted to be, then that would give me a better idea of.
Well, it sounds like
it's 3 gigs. It's, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
But it's going to be a beast.
And it's supposed to come this winter 2023 as well.
Yeah.
So
they've been sleeping on that, really. I think they had people like pretty much convinced it was a dead project.
Yeah, now info's coming, and it's coming.
And I love the way Meta did it too, by just giving them their time to do their thing. But
yeah, at the MetaQuest showcase, they showed an image of Assassin's Creed Nexus, and they said, "Stay tuned for Ubisoft's conference next week."
That was cool.
Yeah. Or like 2 weeks later, and then boom, we got it last week. And like I said, the CGI trailer, I don't like CGI trailers in general. I want in-game footage.
I don't want to see a human mixed in there.
No.
Unless it's like a mixed reality experience, then I go, okay, I get it, because that's basically what somebody else would be seeing. But
Yeah, but they compensated well with the screenshots in game on their website. You know,
yeah,
I would have
no,
loved
they were
to.
smart, man. They did it. They did it smart.
Yeah, and either way, it's coming this year, so let's see. I'm excited to see what actually comes with it. You know, I'm surprised that we got Assassin's Creed news before we got GTA, but I guess it does go to show that when these projects that, like you said, you know, people are speculating are dead, when news
might
does
not
start
be.
coming out,
Yeah.
the release is right around the corner once we start hearing about it. So I picture if GTA is not dead, you know, the day we're hearing about it, it's coming, you know, 5-6 months later, if not sooner.
Yeah, I'm starting to think it's dead.
Yeah, I think that, well, we were honest. We're like, hey, if we don't get any news at the gaming showcase that passed the other week, it's time to start to.
Yeah, and I had a little faith that maybe
No.
even on the upload showcase there would be something about
No.
it, but no.
No. And like, I'm not
There's
even
nothing
going
to
to
be
get my
had.
hopes up for the Connect. I mean, Connect's coming in September.
Mhm.
There's rumors that it's going to be in person, which would be really cool. But, you know, do I want to sit here and say I expect to see footage of it in Connect? No way.
No.
At this point, no. It's becoming like the Apple headset was to me, just mythological. But then that's good because eventually it does come out.
But to be honest with you, the flat screen GTA 6 will be coming out in 24. So if they do an early release in 24, then, you know, whatever. I'll still get my GTA one way or another.
Yeah, I'm itching for it in VR, though. It'll be good. And then in other news of kind of leak stuff, a firmware sleuth, you know, people like, it wasn't Bradley, but people like Bradley, you know, who go in there, they go through the updates, they get all of the code, and, oh, let's see what's hidden in there. Somebody found some footage in a firmware update showing a Smart Guardian clip for the Quest 3, which this is something that's been teased a little bit before. You know, there's rumors that it's going to be, you know, more talked about at the Connect conference in September. But it's basically your, you know, right now we draw the Guardian in our Quest 2. You load it up, you draw your safe space, I guess you could say. And then if you get close to it, you know, the Guardian wall pops up to let you know, like, hey, you're probably going to hit something if you go past that wall. But it looks like you're going to be able to just smart scan your room so it can go, all right, I know a table's there, no TV's there, you know, ceiling fan there, whatever. And it sounds like it's going to be really utilizing the power of the depth sensor. So
I'm not complaining.
No, that'll be very useful.
Because I admittingly draw my circle right over objects that clearly should not be in your play space.
Yeah, but I just cognitively know they exist.
Like, what's the worst happen? I kick it, you know?
Yeah.
No.
But a smart scan, that's really good for those new users just getting on VR those first couple times and just boom, ease of access.
Also, when it knows where your couch is and you can sit down in it and you can add a virtual couch on there, it's cool.
My headset's finally gotten really good about not forgetting my Guardian either. I had that problem forever. It just recently, like I want to say 2 months ago, started to get better. Maybe a month.
I haven't had that problem.
Yeah, it's nice. I had to, for like, dude, I'm talking like up until a couple months ago, every time I put on my headset, I had to redraw my Guardian.
Oh, that sucks.
So I'm hoping if the smart scan features, you know, if it takes a minute, if it takes 2 minutes, I'm hoping they don't, you know, it's not a minute of waiting there every single time you put on your headset while it smart scans. Because in that case, I might rather draw. Because boop, draw real quick, you know?
I wonder if that's going to include knowing where the floor is.
It's got to, right? Because you set your floor height, right?
Yeah, manually.
So,
but will it be able to do it automatically now?
Let's see the power.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. Let's see how it rolls out. Let's see. You know, right now it's speculation. Like I said, some clips. Who knows if they're even going to announce it? Maybe it's not ready by the time things actually come in September. But right now it's looking like the smart scanning feature could be some cool shit.
Might happen.
Yeah. And then in stuff that we started to see at the UploadVR Showcase, Drop Dead the Cabin, a game that we had a lot of fun with using our meta avatars, busting up some zombies in a cabin.
Killing zombies.
They're adding a mixed reality mode later this year for the Quest 3 and the Pro. That, dude, killing zombies in your living room?
You know, I mean, I don't know how it's going to come out, but if, like, I'm just thinking in the future, if, like, they're using, like, an AI type NPC zombie that would know, like, your counter is there and would duck behind it and shit, try to sneak attack you in your own...
Coming through your window?
Yeah, man.
And now how does this work for co-op? Because, you know, like,
Are you going to be able to play in my house? Probably not, right? So
Well,
like, how's
will
it
there
do it
be co-op in this mode?
Mm-hmm, maybe not.
I'm thinking single player.
Yeah, because
Just
it is
because they're going to want to flex the
the ability of using your
your home is the
and that's the smart scanning combined with these mixed reality games where it already knows that's a window.
Yeah,
It already knows that's a TV.
should be coming out of your walls in your home.
Remember The Ring?
Mm-hmm. Oh, the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have somebody come through that would be a good like tech demo, you know? Just to showcase the potential, have the freaking ring come out of your TV.
You know what'd be really cool is if
it's going to be on side quest 2 months after
if
the
we
Quest
lived
3
in-
comes out.
if this was like 30 years ago when everyone had a telephone and they had this technology and they could have done like a ring game where you watch the tape, put the tape into the thing and watch it, and then the phone rings, but the phone is your real phone. And then you know what I'm saying? But you pick it up and put it to your ear, and then
I would be pulling off my headset.
who knows
closing
what
that
the
out.
future of this is all going to do? Because if it can allow you to interact with objects in your own house that are, really there, like it knows there's a flower pot there.
Well, it's important to say too. Again, Quest 3 and Pro, this is color pass through. So, like, if you're visualizing your mixed reality on your Quest 2, it's going to be in color. It's a different animal with those pancake lenses. Man, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a cool one to see.
Yeah, and it's not the only one that announced some mixed reality modes coming. Also, Espire, or the developers of Espire, announced that they're getting a mixed reality mode with some mixed reality specific missions coming to Espire 2 later this year for the Quest 3 and Pro. And Espire, man, that's one that we haven't reviewed yet, but we've had fun with Espire 2 in the co-op. You know, my only thing, I wish the whole freaking game was co-op, because when we do the co-op together, we're laughing, we're messing with the enemies. We're terrible secret agents. They give you like a bill at the end,
yeah.
based off of
We're very expensive.
yeah, I've never made money going on these secret missions, I'll tell you that much. I end up spending a lot of money doing my job in that game, but it's fun, so to be able to do it mixed reality, there's some potential there. I'm excited to see what comes with that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how it's going to play off in my real world space, but
Yeah, like,
we'll see.
Example, you can stuff people in things, you can like put them under it. Is it going to be like I put this guy underneath my table, or I'm hiding behind my real table? Because to
not
not
be a
get
cool
seen.
game too. I don't know. I'm having all these ideas. Someone's gonna jack one. You're wicked time. So you're in your 3D color, home space, but it makes you wicked small, but utilizes all the objects in your reel. So you have to run down your real counter, but it has it all detailed out.
Like a little toy soldiers game where you're like
Yeah,
a little toy soldier.
Something that would cause you to have to be that small.
Remember those toy soldier games? Why don't we have a VR toy soldier game yet?
Freaking Reggie comes walking through the play space and it knows it, so it utilizes it.
I think we might be asking a little much out of the technology.
I'm thinking future.
To be scaling.
Future.
But, maybe one day. Yeah, once we hit the ability that it can scan and scale, but I imagine that...
And real-time change.
Yeah, I imagine that's quite a bit for what we currently have for technology, but definitely for the future, that's a good idea. And then we also got something that we've been actually talking about, wanting to hear. We got the intro credits shown for I Expect You to Die 3, which most importantly means we got the intro song debuted. And, it's a female singer, and it's a pretty good one, this one. I mean, okay, let me go back.
Is there a bad one?
I was just about to say that. That's why we were so hyped for this, because the intro credits is a huge part of the series to us,
Just like any spy movie, each has their own theme song for,
And this one didn't disappoint.
No, they don't ever disappoint.
Yeah, so they did a good job. It has me hyped. It's coming later this year, 2023.
I've played nothing, and I already love it.
Dude, they could do nothing new in terms of gameplay, or like it could literally be just the same exact shit we saw in 2, just new.
Just
like
a new story.
New story and new rooms, and that's all I need. Like, I don't need them to...
As long as they're not rinse, wash, repeat puzzles that we've done before in 1 and 2, I'm golden.
If it's a new story, new puzzles, I don't need them to rewrite.
They can even be conceptually similar, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, maybe a homage, like a throwback to the car mission.
I don't
Might
ever
be cool.
want to look back on. I don't want to ever play a new puzzle game and look at the puzzle and be like, "Oh, I already know how to solve that."
Because
Just
I did
because
it before.
I've done it before, repetition, like
Yeah.
right, left, right. I want to always have to struggle.
But the reason I bring that up is because I know sometimes people have the belief for a sequel, like they got to bring something new to the table. In this series, Red Matter, I don't think so. I think just give me more of what I
Red
love.
Matter did mix it up a little, and it didn't go over well with everyone.
Yeah, I wasn't huge on the combat in Red Matter too. It's not that it made the game bad. It's not that it like destroyed it. But I think that the game would have flowed maybe even better without the combat in Red Matter too.
Wasn't super combat heavy though.
No, it was just kind of sprinkled in. That's what I mean. I don't think it really needed it, and I felt like it was maybe just a little forcing, trying to put something new into the game.
If they had omitted it, but had filled it in with more puzzles and stuff, then
Yeah, that's all.
Oh yeah.
That's all I
with
need.
you.
So I'm hoping that we see that from Shell Games with I Expect You to Die. I hope they don't try to, remake the wheel or anything.
There was combat in the second one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No spoiler,
but I don't want to. I'm just saying, like Red Matter did with combat. I hope we're not suddenly flying a helicopter, or, doing a bunch of crazy non-puzzle related stuff just to try to like push the bounds of a sequel. No, give me the same shit. Give me more.
I agree,
more
but I
escape
also
rooms.
trust them that if for some reason my character has to fly a helicopter,
It's probably
I'll
for a
fly the
puzzle reason.
helicopter, because I know it's going to crash and I need to do something to make it so the helicopter doesn't crash.
Yeah,
in
that's
time.
different. That's the
I
puzzle.
have
But
full faith in Shell Games,
yeah, stick with the escape room
and I
genre,
expect to love it.
and I expect to die a lot.
Yeah, I hope so.
Ooh, I'm excited for this one. So cannot wait for that one coming later this year. 2023 looking like it's going to wrap up heavy with I Expect You to Die 3.
And this doesn't count any shadow drops coming. So
Right.
keep that in mind.
Assassin's Creed coming at the end of this year. And 60-hour long game, Asgard's Wrath 2 coming at the end of this year too.
Dude, I finished that in 57.
You're going to see a couple of those reviews.
1 star.
4-hour story, all that ridiculous stuff that we always see. I love when we see those and developers respond and they go, I don't mean to be argumentative, but you can't finish that game in that amount of time. Those are always the best reviews.
There's some, where people have talked shit, but the cutscenes alone in the game were longer than the time the person claimed they finished the game in. And it's like, you couldn't have mathematically finished the game.
That's not how it works, dog.
Yeah. People are people.
Yeah, too freaking funny. And then in another one, Wallace and Gromit VR, which was announced last year, but it's
Wallace.
Dude,
I love the names.
do you remember that series? I love those little animation cartoons.
Never watched it.
You never watched Wallace and Gromit?
No.
Oh my goodness, I've seen so many of those. Oh man, some of the best animation, honestly.
How old is it?
Honestly, probably more from your era than mine.
Really?
Yeah, let me Google real quick.
Wallace and Gromit. So were you watching it when you were super little?
All right. So first film was 1989. I could see how.
Yeah, I was 19.
Yeah, you
I
probably
was
weren't
all
watching.
Yeah, I wasn't running the Wallace at 19.
Meanwhile, in my childhood, like that was they snuck Wallace and Gromit stuff into everything. See them in school films. I'd see them in like TV specials. All of a sudden, there'd just be a Wallace and Gromit little clip. Like that shit was everywhere. And they're getting a VR film. And here's the thing: it's co-made by a studio that we're familiar with, Atlas V. They're the makers of Madrid Noir, which was the first ever kind of VR film that we watched and reviewed on the podcast. Got a chance to talk to the director, James Castillo. It won a bunch of awards. I don't think James Castillo is involved with this one. I could be wrong. I'd be excited to hear that I'm wrong on that one. But Atlas V as a whole is a studio that has really good previous VR film experience. So I trust that they're going to do really good with a big title like Wallace and Gromit.
Especially with 3D animation. So, yeah, I have faith in that.
And I don't know what it is, but British IPs seem to be more willing to play around with VR. Maze Theory did The Who, or Doctor Who before.
The
Who, yeah. Doctor Who before. They did Peaky Blinders, both very UK heavy things.
Fucking, but you can't. I'm going to say that every time you say Peaky.
as much as I know Wallace and Gromit, it was even bigger in the UK from my understanding. It's like that's where the IP started. It's like I don't know what it is. The VR scene seems so big in the
Wallace
UK.
sounds like a very proper name,
Yeah.
does it not?
Wallace and Gromit, you're gonna tell me that they're from Alabama?
Gromit.
Gromit?
Yeah, no, Gromit I could.
Yeah.
I'm from the hills of Alabama. My name's Gromit. My sister Frog. My cousin Toad. And my little brother Tadpole.
Too funny. But
Gromit.
I'll be honest with
But
you,
Wallace
Yeah.
will get your ass kicked if you live down south and your name's Wallace. First day of school. How are you? What's your name? Wallace.
man. I would legally change that to my middle name and then make my first name William.
William Wallace.
Come on, man.
Boom, boom.
Then who's gonna mess with you then? But nonetheless, like I
Yeah,
said,
but okay. So now you're gonna give your kids a name where, like a kid's ever gonna watch Braveheart,
yeah.
but they're gonna, and then they're gonna challenge your ass.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, William Wallace. Let's see if you're willing to die for the cause today. I grew up in a different time,
The 80s, it was different.
Bullying was a thing. It was like I think you get a degree in it if you were good at it.
Well, beyond that, New England, 1980s, shit was different.
70s and 80s.
Yeah,
bro.
shit was different. So, nonetheless, excited for that one to
You
come
learned
out
how to run.
later this year. What was also cool, kind of going away from, things shown at the showcase, people have been kind of speculating, like, what's the Quest 3's compatibility with third-party accessories going to be? Because it looks like that there's some stuff on the actual side of the head strap in terms of, like, charging port and aux port. People are like, damn it, the existing accessories aren't definitely not going to be compatible. How is it going to work for other accessories? Is it even going to be compatible with the controllers? Is there even going to be accessories that work in general with face shield? People have been really speculating. And then Jason Rubin, one of the top executives over at Meta, I think his position recently got a new title. It's funny when you're that high up in a company, you can just kind of like make a new position and be like, yeah, I got a promotion.
That's called job security.
Yeah.
If I keep shuffling and moving.
Yeah.
I shuffle and I move and I look busy all the time. And by the time the people finally get the paperwork at the other end of the trail, I've already moved to another position. I'm just playing.
Look, Jason, you've hit the max of the fair market value for this position name. But if we create a new position,
You've been here 90 days with that same name. Dude, you're behind the 8-ball.
But nonetheless, so on his Twitter picture now, it's actually him using a Quest 3, but it has a Quest 3 Elite strap, which although that's an accessory that's going to be made by Meta, it at least shows that there's going to be some sort of ability to clip off the default one and clip on a new one, which means...
Well, the question is will you need to?
Well,
With the Quest 2, you do. Flat out. That's standard stock.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my Quest, but let's be honest.
I think
the head strap sucks.
The default one, absolutely.
Yes.
That's where
It is
third-party
not a good representation of how you should put on a VR headset.
That's where third-party manufacturers like our sponsor, Kiwi, with their battery power head strap is real good. Meta does their own in-house Elite strap. I'm on Team Meta. I love the Meta Quest, but I'll be honest with you, the Elite strap has been full of nothing but reports.
I'm on Team Budget.
Yeah. The Elite strap breaks a lot, the official one through Meta. So that's why the third-party accessories really come in handy.
Well, even better is the fact that Meta encourages it. And
yeah, in previous Connect conferences, I think it was last year's Fall Connect, they were like, we love this. We want to see it grow. So if Meta is able to put on an Elite strap, that means that these third-party accessories companies can make their own too,
they probably already got it.
Oh, I hope
They're
so.
just waiting. My big thing is going to be controller extenders.
Yep. Controller extenders and battery pack head strap.
Although, do we have any confirmation on how long the battery's going to last on this?
There's not really much spec information.
Exactly. So all those blanks that need to be filled in are important ones because, higher processing power,
it
full
was
color.
so smart for them to put out
But if they're going to give you let's say they're going to bust out with 5 to 6 hours depending on usage.
No way.
Then I'm just saying, we don't know.
I know.
They could say, hey, look, figured out some alien technology and you get 24 hours
Yeah.
every trip,
Look,
which we know isn't. But
it will probably be the standard.
so
that
what
you
if they
see
do say a 4-hour gameplay?
then obviously you wouldn't need a head strap until your
Exactly.
battery ages. But I think that's
Anything's possible.
it's possible,
we see the
but
spec
not for the
built in.
consumer. I'm gonna get.
So, okay, let's take
since
it-
we're guessing, because
Yeah.
that's all it is. It's gonna be. It all gets 2 hours. That's the standard.
I'll use like the old high or low scenario. So if I won't stick to my 4 hours, but I'll go
Because
down.
4 hours is crazy for a standalone headset.
Right. Well, just remember I did say it, but I'll go down to 3.
Okay, I'm guessing 2,
So between us both, we're saying between 2
2
and
to 3.
2
Yeah.
to 3.
But the reason that I would still justify getting a head strap if it is 2 is because, like, yeah, that's 2 new.
What's Apple's spec? No, they don't have it either.
Nope, not out yet. You know,
So many questions.
so many questions. Yeah, battery life is tough to do on a standalone headset because,
So let's
dude,
see.
it's just ripping so much power.
We're talking new technology.
And the rumor is, again, this is the word on the street. This is what the walls are saying, that those slits, I believe it came from Andrew Bosworth, Ask Me Anything as well. I'm just being a little silly. The slits on the front of the Quest 3 that I was saying is probably like the one visual design thing that I didn't like about it because it looks kind of just ugly. When the headset's white and then you have the black vents in the front, the whole headset was black. It wouldn't look as bad. But apparently, obviously, those aren't just an aesthetic thing. They have a functional use of cooling. And the thing about the Quest 2's processor is it's been underclocked since release. That's how we've seen it get more powerful on 2 different occasions, like the other week when it got 26% more powerful. It's because you're putting a headset on your face, so that shit can't get hot. That'll melt people's face. So if they can't properly cool the headset at 100% performance power, they have to underclock it to the point that it's able to stay at a nice temperature, right? But as they get better with cooling and optimizing the software, then they're able to reduce the underclocking. So the word is that they've made leaps and bounds improvements with the cooling system in the Quest 3 with having those front vent slits, and that they're not going to need to underclock the new processor, which is also defaultly more powerful than the Quest 2's alone, but they're not even going to need to underclock it nearly as much. So not only is it a more powerful processor, it's going to be underclocked less, which is going to be huge. Dude, the Quest 3 is everything I could want right now. Like I'm
Including the price.
Dude, including the price, $500, I can live with that.
Well, you're not going to spend $500. You're going to end up
No.
spending like $750.
Well, let's see if they keep up with the higher model being $100 more, or if we're going to see something like $200 more. I think $100 more, but nothing would surprise
200
me.
if you want the black one.
Oh, dude, I would too.
See,
Not just
don't
for the
say
black,
that because
not just for-
Apple's already, they're going to gig hard for like.
Dude, black headsets look nice. I don't know what it
I want a
is.
fluorescent orange.
I mean, I say this as I have a purple sticker on mine, but I don't know. There's something about the white headset look. I want a sleek black headset. It just looks so nice. And I feel like for the Quest 3, that would be money with those vents in the front. But nonetheless, we'll move on, But it was cool to see that, the Quest 3 looks like it'll have some actual third-party accessories, or at least the compatibility for it. The other week we reviewed We Are One. It was a new kind of time loop puzzle game with some shooting elements. It was a lot of fun. We actually both gave it amazing scores. Off the top of my head, I believe it was a 92 or 93 and then a 95. So really good scores from us. One of the only features that I was requesting was that they added a replay feature for the leaderboards. That way you could see, for one, reference how you did something, and then also see how the other people did it. And just like that, last week, boom, the update rolled out. And now when you go on the leaderboard in We Are One, you can watch the replay of the top 10 to see how they did it.
That's pretty cool.
That's huge. For strategy and also for showing off your thing. Like before, if you did something awesome and then you didn't record it right away, SOL, baby. You're never going to be able to show that off again. But now if you're on the top 10 of the leaderboard, you can be like, oh shit, I forgot to record it. Load back in. Press the replay, record it. I think that's huge.
Yeah, and it's going to make it even more competitive because now someone who never could have gotten in the top 10 can figure out how you did it getting in the top 3.
look, as excited as I am, there's somebody at home who's pissed going, damn it. I thought that nobody was ever going to figure out how I got so high of a score, and now they can. But overall for the game, I think that was a necessary addition.
Yeah, it wasn't make it or break it for me.
No, but
I'm not. I'm neutral. I'll say,
well,
not knowing how someone did it or didn't bother me because I just knew that somebody had done it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess one could say, why don't all games do that then?
Yeah,
for their top 10 leaderboard.
I think it was Barbaria that sold me on the potential of, for one, asynchronous
playback,
multiplayer, but on replay features. Replay is actually really cool in VR, especially when you can watch it from a more top-down, third-person view.
There's one genre that has always been the number one for replays.
What's that?
Racing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. To the point where some of the racing games even started coming out with little... You got to give those flat screens credit with editors, so you could edit your fucking replay race.
Those started to get big in all sports games for a couple years. I feel like
I'll say that genre of racing, they've always been to me the ones that you always seem to like. Because let's be honest, if every game had a replay, I'm not watching it.
No, but
there's been a shit ton of races. Yeah.
In fighting games too, like if Thrill to Fight had a replay
if it's a
feature,
great fight,
yeah, you'd be
absolutely.
Like, dude, I want to see how I did that. And for a game like Barbaria, that makes sense. For We Are One, it makes sense. So it was great to see it added. Huge props to the developers. Already pumping out updates on that new game. And then, it was funny when we interviewed Scott Albright, the CEO of Combat Waffle Studios, the developers of hit game on App Lab, Ghost of Tabor,
game under development,
dude. It's been
which needs to be noted.
It came out after 10 months. It's been like 3 months in. So like we're at like 13 months of this game being out. It is so much fun. It's like our number one played game, still on App Lab, but it's dominating the Steam charts, even in like, top, whatever they do, or top selling. I forget the exact Steam category name. But when we talked to him, a big thing he emphasized was how important it is, in his opinion, for developers to also release on the Quest, because let's be real, as a hobby, as a passion side, you might love PC VR and putting things to the max settings and everything, but in terms of sales, you need the Quest too. So he referenced a game, Veil, that came out for PC VR beta about a year ago, and it started out with a lot of steam, like I'm talking a lot of steam, and then quickly died out. Just as fast as the fire came, the fire went. And Scott used them as an example of them not releasing on the Quest 2 at the same time for the beta is like one of his all-time top VR mistakes, that he's witnessed studios do. He referenced it. And now, a year later, Veil's coming out and saying this summer they're starting their alpha testing for Quest 2.
Nice.
Yeah, hopefully that causes a resurgence of the game. I don't like to see games die, so I don't want to be like, oh, they learned their lesson.
Well,
no, hopefully the game can, like, the fire can come back.
A good game can die because of bad decisions.
Yeah.
So I can't have sympathy on anyone who chooses to make a bad decision because of bad information or just stubbornness. So
it's not good to dictate decisions based off of your own personal preference. Meaning,
so again, I have no
because
sympathy.
you prefer PC VR does not mean that that's where your game should be limited to. Just because the data doesn't justify doing that, especially for like a multiplayer game where you need people playing. So hopefully, like I said, with the beta coming out this summer, the alpha beta, hopefully.
Although Scott's in an interesting position because even though he does have a shit ton of the Quest 2 users, he's also got the passionate users on the other side as well.
On the Steam side, yeah.
Yeah.
But
so but I call his whole situation an anomaly to the industry because you usually don't see.
But here's the reality: in order to keep it fun for those PC VR players, they need other people to play with too. So a big reason that he's been able to keep and maintain that PC VR player base is because they have people to play with. You know what I mean? So it's possible it's very possible if they launched without the Quest 2.
I was just saying proportionately for sales. It's like usually you wouldn't see, because a lot of times it's more Quest 2, hands down,
Which he did say it was more Quest 2, but it was close.
Yeah, the difference was not
as substantial.
Correct.
Yeah, but I think that, I don't even know if you get to those PC VR numbers in general without having that Quest 2 support, just because word of mouth, popularity, everything like that. So hopefully we see Veil make a little bit of a resurgence. We didn't get to play it because no PC VR. So
I think they'll be more Quest 3 focused, but
well, here's the thing: if
Quest 2 support, but made for the Quest 3.
If they're doing the alpha on the Quest 2 and getting it able to run on the Quest 2, oh my goodness, upgrading up to the Quest 3 is going to be a home run for them. They're going to be like, all right, then we can definitely do that. So I think that's why they're doing it, is making it as hard as possible for themselves now to make it a little bit easier down the line. But that'll be cool, when that comes rolling out in the summer. I don't exactly know what summer means, if that's July, August, but coming soon. So another update to a game that we love, Real VR Fishing. They're adding in an upcoming DLC, U.S. East Coast locations. Our stomping grounds, baby.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to fish in dirty-ass New York City water, hopefully.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully we get some Boston. Hopefully we get some like New Hampshire, some Florida. Because remember, it's not New England.
I'm thinking you're going to get Florida for sure.
North Carolina.
Probably Maine. You're not going to see North Carolina. So, I don't think you'll see like Virginia.
Well, yeah, I'm just throwing out popular like tourist destinations.
So I'm thinking Florida, definitely. Probably Miami.
We might see a couple in Florida, to be honest with you.
And then I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of states that run that border, so
and they tend to like to hit major cities as part of like their
but New York
list.
City.
That's why I said you get to fish in the dirty ass New York City.
If you don't want to put your hand in it, why the hell would you want to catch a fish in it? And you put your hand in New York City water, you don't know what you might pull out.
Can I go fishing in Hoboken?
You could fish on the Hudson.
Start pulling out oysters.
But I'd be cool if they left New York City out of it. It's got no fishing appeal.
Yeah, but I'm actually excited for this one because, like I said, a little bit of our stomping grounds.
Fishing in New York City is a fish market, bro. You just go there and they throw you the fish. And
Real VR Fishing is one of those games that I don't know if they ever need to do a sequel. It's like just keep improving the actual core game and pumping out these DLC locations.
I agree. And now I'm going to criticize them just a little.
Okay.
From just, experience and time gone by.
Okay.
And it's not even bad criticism, but it's like, because it is a fantastic game.
It's one of the best fishing. Right? It's amazing. It's so much fun co-op too. Or not co-op, but multiplayer.
So where they dropped the ball from a marketing standpoint was not really riding out the social aspect of it more than if they'd taken a play out of Walkabout Mini Golf's playbook and figured out how to sell people on it being more of that co-op experience and less of an individual experience.
You feel like that they pushed too much the single player side and not enough the multiplayer social stuff?
Yeah, because I mean, the multiplayer comes with it, but it, looking back on past representations of it, they really lay heavy on their photorealism with the areas you fish, which they do, again, love the freaking game. But for their own success, I would have liked to have seen them push the social feature.
I think that's what makes the game shine. That's actually what I referenced when it came up. I said, yeah, it's got so much fun co-op multiplayer, fishing there with your friends, taking photos.
But they always do. I mean, they're constantly improving. They're constantly dropping, good DLCs.
It's got a great community of fans of the game.
I say this not wanting it to go anywhere other than up, and they still have an opportunity because they've already done great with the graphics.
Again, it's like Walkabout Mini Golf. I don't know if you ever need a Walkabout Mini Golf 2. Just keep making more DLC courses.
Just keep making it better.
Feel the same way about Real VR Fishing.
There'll be a time.
Well, then you just improve the core graphics and you cut out compatibility with the past ones and you just keep improving.
What about a time when there won't be any more Walkabout?
Don't say that.
Right?
Don't break my heart.
Let's give you the feels already.
On to the next one, sir. What's your problem today?
Walkabout comes out with a zombie game.
Actually, since you brought them up, let's scratch them off the list real quick. Walkabout Mini Golf. They announced that they have a putter accessory in partnership with Helloreal coming very soon this year. And they also have a DLC. All their DLCs are now coming to the Pico, which for
That's
us,
huge for them.
yeah, because my understanding was the game was available on the Pico, but not the in-game purchases with the DLCs. So it was
Now
just
they get to
base.
enjoy it all.
Yeah, base Walkabout Mini Golf is still a ton of fun, but their DLCs are so good too. You know, you want to have access to those.
I wonder if the Pico will be like the other headsets where if you own one, your friend can play it with you.
Oh, I'm sure. Maybe they just have to be on the. Probably not. I was gonna say maybe they have to be on the same headset, but I don't think that that's the current system, so maybe not.
Yeah.
But that Helloreal putter attachment that you put your controller in, you know,
It looks pretty cool.
yeah, there's other existing golf club attachments that exist from other companies, but this one just looks tight. It looks professional. Helloreal is a very reputable company for VR accessories.
I'll say if Mighty Coconut is going to team up with them or them team up with Mighty Coconut, then you know it's not shoddy.
Mm-hmm.
Because how bad would that be? You make a 5-star product, but work with a 3-star vendor. You know, no. So I've got, and it looks good. I saw it.
Yeah,
I was a little like,
kind of want to try it out a little. I won't lie.
do I need one in my life?
Well, to me, sometimes I load into Walkabout and I forget to put down my other controller right away, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh shit, I forget. It was just one controller.
I've never bought any of the gun attachments. For
No, to be honest with you though, the golf clubs, that's one of the. It's more logical to me. My problem with the gun attachment ones, and maybe I should dive in and experience it before I speculate, because maybe it's not the case. Is like, okay, so it's in the shape of an SMG, but I don't always use an SMG as my gun in so many different games. Like I'll use different guns. So
that
it's
depends on the shooter.
Yeah.
Like I know in Ghost of Tabor, oh my god, you
need so many different
so many different gun and the ability to change it out on the spot.
Maybe I'm incorrect in that speculation, but
But
that's
some
always
like
been
contractors or something where you can be like, all right, this is going to be my main loadout,
Yeah.
no matter what. I
Yeah.
could see that working, or Pop One
but
for the most part.
in all those games, I even do like to change around what guns I use. So
Mhm.
that's always just been my one hesitancy with it. Maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe it's not even a factor.
I don't know.
maybe
I don't like I get the whole 2-hand thing, but I don't,
I
know
don't
if
always use two hands in every moment that I'm in the shooter. Like I'm not all, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it limits me. Whereas the golf club, that's logical. Like that makes sense. It seems like it has a really functional use.
hello ceiling fans.
Yes.
Although it would Walkabout
You'll never swing up there. You'll be swinging down. If anything, it'll be easier to not hit stuff.
Golf Plus, I don't think I could get away with it.
Oh, what, when the pro mode and you're doing like a big power swing?
Yeah, dude. If I'm gonna drive the ball, I mean,
We'll play that.
I
in my
don't
garage.
have the extender, and I do full swing. Like
So, just
that game's gonna be a nice improvement with the new headset too,
Yeah. What's
especially with the controllers if they're that smart. So
and the tracking on them. Oh, I am so excited for the
there's
Quest
like
3.
Quest Pro players that get to play it. I'm jealous.
Yeah, I'm jealous of them for the like punching games too. To be able to better track the speed of your punches. Because I've had, you swing too fast, you can lose
Yeah,
the tracking on your controller for a second.
no windmill punches.
Yeah. So just two more pieces of things to talk about. Like I said, there was much more shown and talked about on the UploadVR Showcase. Like I said, an hour and 40 minutes,
You can still watch it.
over 60 different trailers. Go check that out. Highly recommend. Great
There's
showcase.
about 55 we missed. So
Yeah. So just a couple more ones. And some of these weren't even from the showcase at all. I just like to give a good shout out to anything big happening in the world of VR. But another game, Inverse, made by a studio that I've yet to hear of. So it was kind of I was like, wow, where the hell did these guys come from? Their name was Mass VR. They showed off a trailer for a 4v1 survival horror game. And the trailer looked intense. 4v1 survival sounds like it's going to be a lot of group fun. And it sounds like the one is like attacking the 4. It's not going to be like the
they
4.
have Friday the 13th on flat screen.
Yeah, and I heard like that one had some potential with some misses. And I think that I can't think of another example of this genre pulled off in VR yet. So this one has a lot of potential, I feel, It was just the trailer we saw, but I'm sold. Like this one looks like it could be a lot of fun, especially because like it's not like when you're the one, you're getting hunted by 4 and it's super intense. Like no, it sounds like when you're the one, you're the dude who's gonna go F things up,
It's tag with benefits.
Violent tag. So I'm definitely excited for that.
Or hide and seek.
Yes,
Hide and seek with benefits.
violent hide and seek. So never heard of the studio before. I'll definitely check them out more, see if that they have some past titles. Maybe I have played but didn't know it was them. But Mass VR coming out with Inverse, like I said, a 4v1 horror survival game. So I'm excited for that. And then on the last piece of news, Retropolis 2, Never Say Goodbye, the sequel to the first Retropolis game, which we have not done a review of yet. It's kind of like a point and click adventure game in VR. I've heard amazing things about the first one. Sometimes when the sequel comes out, that's when I go, okay, time to dive into the first. But it came out, they showed the trailer at the UploadVR Showcase, and as soon as the trailer concluded, they said, and now it's available for early access on App Lab right now. So boom, you can go check out Retropolis 2. What was it? Never Say Goodbye on App Lab now on early access with the full game coming later. So that's huge, man. I love when games do that. They go, here's the trailer and available now.
You can buy it.
So that was cool that there was at least one of those type of shadow drops from the UploadVR Showcase.
Yeah, no, I love shadow drops.
Yeah.
Becoming addicted to them. Because they're unpredictable. Could be anything.
I like gaming showcases in general. These past couple months, there's been a lot going on with VR between Meta Showcase, them announcing the Quest 3, Apple's WWDC with them announcing the Apple Vision Pro, and then the UploadVR Showcase. I think we're going to see a couple deep breaths for maybe a month or two, and then Meta's picking right back up, dropping some heat in September at the Meta Quest Connect. So maybe we'll have a quiet couple months, but it can't be for more than 3. So man, 2023 has been ridiculous.
Yeah, no, the showcases are cool, but I also the thing about the showcases is you have an expectation versus the shadow drop where you wake up or you get a text or you see a tweet and you're like, hey.
But those can go together too, where it's just like we saw with Retropolis, where you see the trailer shown.
But I don't mind waking up Monday morning and being like, holy crap, coming soon, I like those.
And on a little bit of an unrelated note, a little birdie told me that we have something cool in the works that we're going to be announcing in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. Maybe go check out our Discord, to get the earliest news on that when we're ready to announce it. Since I didn't plug it today, I'll plug it now before we wrap up today's episode. Definitely go check out our official Discord, our official Patreon, our YouTube channel, all that fun stuff. You can find the links for that in our show notes, which is the episode description. When you go, hey, what's this episode about? Show more info. You're going to see our Discord link. You're going to go see our Patreon link. Discord's free for everybody. You can go join, go talk to some other Ruff Talk VR listeners and just some fans of VR in general. No shortage of great VR discussion, game meetups, movie discussion, music discussion, life adventures, just general talks too. So it's a great time in that Discord. Go check that out. And our Patreon.
Come get your therapy in Discord.
Yes, we're a nice community. And then our Patreon, we have some exclusive listener perks like a weekly on-air shout out, which we'll do on Wednesday. Access to an exclusive chat room in our public Discord server. Your name across the bottom of the screen and a ticker on YouTube. So bunch of cool listener perks as well. It's the most direct way to support us as podcasters, help us on the goal to do this full time. So joining that Patreon, you get some cool stuff. And I can't stress enough, it's a huge help to us. And we're also on the hunt of growing our YouTube channel. So definitely go subscribe to us there. It seems like every day we're getting a couple now. So it's cool, definitely go subscribe to us there. Help us grow that channel. And other than that, we got a fun rest of the week coming. We got a game review on Wednesday, reviewing Quantar. And then we got a nice interview to end the week on Friday too. So cool stuff. Good stuff coming this week. Subscribe, rate us 5 stars if you're listening on a podcast platform. And we'll be back with you on Wednesday. Ciao, ciao.